After watching this video, you may never buy bottled pasta sauce again. That's because today I'm going to show you how to make marinara sauce at home quickly and easily.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor, delle belle...
So true story. Growing up, I never had canned or bottled pasta sauce. In fact, I don't think I even had store-bought pasta sauce until I was in my teens or 20s, and that was only because it was at a friend's house. Now, don't get me wrong, we had a lot of pasta growing up in my house. We probably ate it once or twice a week. But you see, my mom is Italian, and the thought of buying pasta sauce in the store, that was like kitchen sacrilege. But don't worry, you don't have to have an Italian mom to know how to make homemade marinara sauce. In fact, it's really easier than you think. All it takes is a few ingredients and about half an hour. And like any other thing that's homemade, once you get the knack for making this, you can customize it to your taste. For example, if you love garlic, you can add a ton of garlic. If you like red pepper flakes, you can spice it up with that. Heck, if you want to turn it into a bolognese and add like ground meat, that's easy to do. But for now, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy marinara sauce that is going to be a great basic foundation. And hey, I've also got 2 secret ingredients that I will reveal at the end that will take this sauce to the next level. Are you ready to make some marinara sauce? Let's get it on. So it truly doesn't take much to make a marinara sauce, and I'm going to link all of these in the description, the full recipe, but here is the download. We've got a couple cans of tomatoes. One is crushed tomatoes and one is tomato sauce. We've also got 2 carrots and an onion that has been diced. We've got about 3 cloves of garlic that I cut up. And then finally we have some herbs. We have thyme, oregano, basil, and then we also have some salt and pepper in here. And guys, this setup, of course, is my mise en place, where I got everything ready to cook beforehand. And if you haven't watched my video on mise en place, well, watch my video on mise en place. It will really up your kitchen game. Another awesome thing about homemade marinara sauce is that it can all be done in one pot. Now this does make quite a bit. This makes about 2.5 quarts, which is going to be enough to feed a family, so you're going to want to use a larger pot. What I'm using here is a stainless steel pot. This is about 8 quarts, maybe 6 quarts, but anything 6 quarts or more will be great. So a big pot like this with a lid is going to be optimal for making this sauce. I'm going to break this down into 5 simple steps, and I mean it when I say you can make this in half an hour. In fact, to prove that, I'm going to be setting a stopwatch to show just how fast this can be done, and this also kind of helps keep you on track so you know when to add different ingredients. So let's start our stopwatch, and the first thing we're going to do is heat our pot over medium heat for about a minute. Okay, now we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. You can just kind of eyeball it. You just want enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And then you just kind of want to swirl it around the bottom. Get that nice and coated. Okay, now we are going to add our onions and our carrots. This is going to help called sweat the onions and soften them up. Now with the onions and carrots in the pot, we're just going to kind of stir them and get them coated in oil. We're going to cook these for 5 minutes, and I want you to stir them maybe every minute or every other minute. It hasn't even been 5 minutes, and look at this. Our carrots and our onions are nice and soft. Now we're going to add the garlic and the herbs. And guys, if your kitchen doesn't already smell good at this point, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. So let's turn the heat to about medium-low right now because we don't want to burn our garlic. We're going to add our garlic. And then all of our herbs, salt, and pepper right in there. Give it a stir. We're gonna cook this for about 1 minute. I wish you could smell this, but don't worry, when you make this recipe, you will. Okay, at the 6 or 7 minute mark, where everything is smelling great like an Italian restaurant, now is when we are going to add both cans of our tomatoes. Doesn't matter which order you do it. So here go the crushed tomatoes. And make sure you scrape out all that goodness. And then the tomato sauce. Okay, our tomatoes are in. We're gonna stir everything well. Our heat is at medium, and we just wanna bring this up to a simmer. So let's put a lid on, and this is gonna take just a few minutes, and you may wanna stir it once or twice in that time frame. Hey, pro tip for you. If you don't have a spoon holder, you can use the can as your spoon rest. We're just about at the 12-minute mark, and our sauce is starting to simmer. And by simmer, I just mean these bubbles are starting to gently break the surface. This is a simmer. This is exactly what you want. Now that our sauce is simmering, give it one more good stir, especially on the bottom. Put a lid on and turn the heat to low. We're gonna let this cook for about 15 more minutes, and make sure you stir about every other minute. That way it's gonna prevent any sticking at the bottom and for all those flavors to come together nicely. And remember, a big component when you're cooking, if you really wanna cook like a chef, you wanna be tasting often. So it is perfectly acceptable and encouraged to taste your food while it's cooking. So we're just gonna give one taste of this real quick, and then you can adjust seasonings. You could add more salt, pepper, herbs, whatever to your liking. So far, it's tasting amazing. So we are just at the 25-minute mark, and guys, you could eat the sauce like this. It tastes amazing. But I promised you that I have 2 secret ingredients to bring this to the next level. Those 2 secret ingredients are 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. I like adding this to my sauce. I've already prepared this. I've mixed them together in a little ramekin here. You can pour them in individually, but just kind of pour this into your sauce at about the 25-minute mark and stir it well to incorporate it into your sauce, and let this cook for another 5 minutes. And guys, I promise you, this is going to bring your sauce to the next level. This adds a nice complexity and just a little more sweetness to the acidity of the tomatoes. It's amazing. Here it is, guys. 30-minute marinara. If you could only smell this. OMG. Yes, it has been 30 minutes. This smells absolutely amazing, but we are going to verify its deliciousness by tasting it. So let's shut off the heat. And I'm just gonna scoop some into a ramekin here. Of course, it's very hot. And let's just give it a try. Guys, you just cannot buy this in a bottle. I'm telling you, I don't care how much you spend, you cannot recreate homemade pasta sauce in a bottle. This is so good, and it costs a fraction of the amount of a bottled pasta sauce. This stuff is simply amazing. Now, of course, we can't have pasta sauce without pasta, so I had made some linguine earlier, and FYI, I'm actually gluten-free now, but I found that gluten-free pasta can be really good. So I found a brand that was in my refrigerator section of linguine that tastes great. Now, by all means, you could just plop the pasta on a plate and ladle the sauce over it and call that good, or you can make it like one would in a restaurant, and I'll show you how a chef does it. So the way you do it is you take a small skillet, You heat over about medium heat. Ladle some sauce into your skillet, and then add pasta to the sauce. And then just simply really combine that pasta with the sauce. And what this is going to do is it's going to get everything nice and really, really hot, but more importantly, it is going to absolutely coat this pasta in that delicious sauce we just made. I'm just going to dump everything into a plate here. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's just steaming, and it is just bursting with those fresh carrots. Let's see how it all came together. Gonna do the old twirl here. Now, of course, you could add Parmesan cheese to this, fresh basil, red pepper flakes, whatever you want, but I think this is so good it's going to stand up even on its own. Wow, that is truly fantastic. Now, of course, if you don't like pasta, you can think outside the pasta box, and you could use this sauce on rice, on vegetables. You could even put it into a bowl and just dip some crusty bread into it, and it would be delicious. So guys, that is how to make a homemade marinara sauce that is absolutely marvelous in just 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, please subscribe for more videos on easy recipes and cooking tips. As always, thank you for watching I Want to Cook, and if you have questions, just leave them in the comments below or request on something to make. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a bowl of pasta to get to.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Addoncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Addoncino d'amor.